Aloha, Nina here again, talking about Disneyland. Okay, so I already talked a little bit about our room at the Grand Californian, and I did a video about the Max Pass, and another question I get is food, specifically character meals or meals that you should make reservations for. So we were at Disneyland, and it was a rather short trip for us anyway. I like to go a lot longer, but we were kind of limited with time due to my husband's work schedule and how many vacation days he had left. So we were really only in the park for 3 full days, which I know some of you are like, 3 full days? That's amazing. I would have been happier with 4. I really wish we could have done a 4-day hopper. I think for us that would have been perfect, but you know, mom's gonna take what she can get. So I booked a meal per day. Yeah, a meal that you book is a table service meal that requires a reservation. A different thing at Disneyland is a lot of those places don't book up solid, so oftentimes you can get kind of a last minute reservation if you're there and you're hungry and you want to try something. But some of the meals, especially character meals, do book up, so I do suggest we get those, you know, make reservations for them and make sure you're going. So one of the ones I did was their one and only princess meal that they have there on property called Ariel's Grotto. It is at Disney's California Adventures, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought the food was good, amazing actually. I thought the restaurant itself was cute. I mean, I think they probably could have done it a little bit better, but it wasn't disappointing. And the princesses were great. So anyway, when you get to Ariel's Grotto, it's in the pier area of the boardwalk over at Disney California Adventure, and you just walk in and it says Ariel's Grotto, and you tell them, you know, I'm here, blah blah blah, and they have this staircase that you have to go down. And I'm thinking, why is there a line on the staircase? I don't understand why we can't just go down the staircase, because there were other customers in front of us. And I kind of peeked my head over and I noticed it's because we all get to take family portraits with Ariel before we eat. Very similar to Cinderella's Royal Table, where you meet Cinderella before you eat. This is the same kind of thing. You meet Ariel before you eat, and Ariel is in her green, you know, ball gown like outfit. She looked super pretty. She was super happy. I was disappointed though, because she was kind of under the railing and it was really dark, and a lot of my photos came up dark, and even the PhotoPass photographer that is there to take your family's portrait, those pictures were kind of dark. I kind of wish Ariel, and I realize why they kind of hide her, because they are just for people to meet the one time and only for people who have reservations. But I kind of wish she was in, I don't know, a grotto, treasures of trove, some sort of beautiful little scenery. She was just by a white wall in the shadows. It was kind of disappointing, to be honest with you, as much as I loved Ariel. So anyway, after we got our picture with Ariel, we were immediately escorted to our table. I found the tables to be rather close together, which I found really annoying. You know, if you think of everyone who comes in there has got a backpack or some sort of bag and your camera, I felt a little tight squeezed, but you know, I'll move on. The people who sat next to us, literally kind of elbow to elbow, had a little accident, spilt their soda all over their table. The dad's like stands up real quick, practically hit me in the head. It was a situation. But anyway, I move on. These things happen. They're trying to put as many people in there as possible because it's a very popular restaurant. Anyway, we sat down, and that's when the fun happened. Our server was excellent. Very nice, very sweet. We sat in just a normal table. They also had booths kind of on the perimeter of the restaurant. And they immediately took our order. Because we have food allergies, I had already placed my order ahead of time. We have so many food allergies in our family that it's not as simple of a no nut or a no dairy. We are several. I have to talk to the chef before I go anywhere, and they usually have a custom meal plan ready for us that they've already been cooking. So when my husband orders, they can serve him and us together and keep us moving, as opposed to us waiting like an hour for the chef to custom make all of our meals. Anyway, we sat down, and as they gave my husband the real menu, what I thought was super cute is they gave us these custom menus that they made for us. Look at this. This is a custom menu that had whatever I had prearranged for them to cook for us on here, along with all the princesses' signatures. Isn't this great? So this one was mine. I got a fresh vegetable salad. My entree was rice, and it was like a stir fry with rice, and it lists my allergies on here, which was great. And then for dessert, we just got an Enjoy Life chocolate bar, which is fine. We're very used to that at Disney. But this was a shock to me. This was very sweet. I have never had a restaurant or a chef or anyone do this for us. And I don't know if this is for everyone with food allergies, or if this was just special for my family. But this was amazing. I almost cried, actually. And if you flip it over, it's everyone's signature that works in the restaurant. Everyone, all the servers, the chefs, everyone's name is on here, and I think that's great. And we got 3 of them because all 3 of us, me and the kids, both have food allergies. I was floored. This was just so sweet. And then of course this is my kids' version. They had strawberries and bananas as an appetizer, because my kids are picky and they won't eat a salad and we're allergic to most fruit, so strawberries and bananas work. And I requested that the chef make my kids quesadillas with dairy-free cheese and beans and olives, and they had carrots and potatoes on the side with a little bit of like salad dressing, so they could dip the carrots in like a not a balsamic, it was like an oil lemon something dressing. It was really good, a citrusy dressing. And then for dessert, they also had the same Enjoy Life chocolate bar as me. But anyway, can you believe this? This was so sweet. So anyway, Ariel's Grotto, if you are watching, thank you. Love this. Love this. So anyway, as we got our menus and we were waiting, this guy comes out, and I thought this was pretty funny. I don't remember his name or anything, but he just starts singing. It's like he's welcoming us to Ariel's Grotto, and he's presenting the princesses. And he's walking around the room and he's full on singing, whatever. It was great. And then he introduced each princess one at a time. So again, we have already met Ariel. We already got our picture with her. And then we also, well, I don't have to guess because it's on here. We also saw Rapunzel, Cinderella, Belle, and Princess Tiana. I will tell you, Tiana's dress in person, amazing. She had the most beautiful dress. Loved it. And Rapunzel, as always, is sweet and talkative. Love meeting Rapunzel. Belle and Cinderella were their typical, princess selves. Love them, of course. But Rapunzel, you can always get her to do some major chatting. And Tiana did chat with us for quite some time as well. I did do a Facebook live feed at the restaurant at this given time. So if you're not already on my Facebook page, this is a good time to go on it, because when I am at the parks, I do a mix between post videos like this, and I do a bunch of Facebook Lives, so you can kind of see in the moment what was going on. Anyway, in that live video, I also posted what the restaurant looked like, and it was very cute. Against the wall, they had, like, I can't remember. It was like mermaid mosaic tiles or something, and then the chandeliers, I think, if I remember right, were like jellyfish. Was very cute, and it was over the water, so a good portion of the wall was just glass where you could see outside. And I did notice, even though we were seated indoors, there were seats outside for people who would be seated outdoors, which I'm glad we weren't, because it was hot and I'm happy to have my air conditioning. Anyway, so we got our food and it was delicious. Like this, it's kind of a multi-course meal. They come out with the appetizers first, then your entree, then your dessert. We were done a little bit sooner than maybe they thought, because I kept trying to find our waitress to say, okay, we're ready for our dessert. Once the kids have sat for so long, they're just done. But that was fine, whatever. And then my husband's plate came out with like 3 different crazy desserts on them. His food looked fabulous as well. Really no major complaints about that restaurant. I don't know if I would overly do it again, but I think it's because we have done so much princess stuff that we're kind of phasing the princess out of our lives a little bit. Sorry, princesses. Anyway, yeah, it was a good meal, and we got to meet all the princesses, and I got all their pictures and, everything. So, yeah, Ariel's Grotto. I think it's I think it's something you should try. And now the other character meal that we did was the Plaza Inn. That is in Magic Kingdom. It's on Main Street. And we did it for a late breakfast. I got the time that was right before lunch. And we got there, and of course there was a kerfuffle. They gave our table away to somebody else, and we were left standing there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting until finally I was like, you guys just need to sit us somewhere. My kids need to eat. It was a breakfast buffet. The buffet, although I didn't go up and see it because, again, the chef custom makes our food, it looked like your typical buffet, you know, Mickey waffles, meats, eggs, whatever. And the chef came out and brought us what we had prearranged, which was allergen-friendly Mickey waffles and lots of strawberries and bananas. I did find out that Disneyland does not carry pure maple syrup on property. Yes, these are the things I know. So I brought my own pure maple syrup because my kids cannot have corn syrup. Well, my daughter cannot have corn syrup, which is in your regular like log cabin syrup. So anyway, we had our breakfast. Finally, we're sitting down, and the reason I actually ended up falling in love with this place were the characters. I could not believe how many characters came to our table, and obscure characters, not like your typical Mickey and Minnie. We saw Captain Hook 3 times. That's right. He kept coming around our table. I was thinking, Captain Hook, don't you have other tables to go to? He kept visiting us to the point where we were having thorough, in-depth conversations with him about fighting Peter Pan and walking the plank, and my daughter's threatening him with the tick-tock. It was pretty funny. We saw Chip and Dale several times, and we saw the mice from Cinderella, which is really rare, and I found out later that that is not a common occurrence, that's actually a rare thing. But yeah, we met the mice. I think it was like Susie, and I forget the other one. Anyway, we saw them from Cinderella. They were super cute. I did notice that not all the characters came to our table, which I was told later was kind of not normal. But we saw Alice in Wonderland and the Mad Hatter and Tigger and Eeyore, but they didn't come to our table. We saw them kind of from a distance. We did see Pooh at our table, which was my daughter's favorite, but I guess I should backtrack a little bit. The nice thing about this meal is it's Minnie and friends. So as soon as you check in and say, hey, I'm here, they say, do you want to get your picture taken with Minnie? Well, of course you do. And then you walk around a little bit, and there's Minnie underneath this cute little arch, little awning thing with flowers, and you take your picture with Minnie. In which case, you know, there's a photographer there to take your pictures. Anyway, that was very sweet because we were there with my family of 4 and then my extended additional family of 4. So we got pictures of just us 4, them 4, and then all 8 of us, which was very sweet. So anyway, I would say, even though maybe it wasn't the best food on property, I mean, it's just your generic breakfast buffet, I would do that again for the characters, for the amount of characters that we saw, for the variety of characters that we saw. Plus, I kind of love having that professional family shot with just Minnie. That was kind of icing on the cake for me. I like knowing that we got at least one decent family photo out of it all. The other thing is during Ariel's Grotto, and I think they did it during Plaza Inn, is they try to sell you the pictures, of course, that they took. Those pictures are not free. You don't just get pictures from the PhotoPass photographers. But again, I had the Max Pass, so I got all those pictures for free or included in my Max Pass. I didn't get the ones that were pre-printed, but they did automatically. They scanned my phone with my Max Pass, and I immediately got to see all of our pictures with Minnie or with Ariel or whatever. And it was great. So, and those, not the Ariel pictures, again, they were dark, but the Minnie pictures came out really cute. That was one of our nicer pictures that we had taken. You just never know who's going to smile, who's going to blink, who's going to whatever. And anyway, so yeah, Ariel's Grotto, worth a shot. And same thing with Plaza Inn. Again, the food wasn't the greatest at the Plaza. It was your generic. But the characters were good. And I think the situation that happened to us, it was very frustrating for the waitresses. They didn't understand how tables were missing and people were giving tables to other people. It turns out there were other guests there that were taking what they thought were better tables, thinking they could just move tables, not realizing that that table was meant for someone else. So several guests had done this, which eventually got to our table, which was then given away. And long story short, that's not normal. So don't let that discourage you from the Plaza Inn at Disneyland Park. So anyway, that's 2 character meals for you. I hope that's enough. These videos tend to get long, so I'm going to end it here and say mahalo for watching. Nina out.